Hello and welcome. We've been talking about the infrastructure deficit in India. We've also been talking about the 1 trillion investment plan or dream, one may call it, to really take India's infrastructure to world-class levels. Now, there are many challenges as we go along that path, particularly in areas like power, roads, ports, airports, and so on. Let's talk about one of them, power. And I'm joined by Gajendra Haldea, advisor to the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission, who's also been in the Power Ministry in the past. Mr. Haldea? Finance Ministry in the past, but working on infrastructure and power.
Yeah, I had the privilege of drafting the Electricity Act 2003.
Correct.
So I have had a long exposure to the power sector.
And I had the privilege of interviewing the minister who you worked with while drafting this thing just a few hours ago.
Actually, I drafted it before Mr. Prabhu came. Mr. Prabhu actually piloted it in the Parliament.
Great.
So it was a 3-4 year exercise.
Yeah, as such exercises are. So what are the challenges we face today is, the economy as well as the government has been in a slowdown mode of sorts, but now picking up. People are now looking for signals. We say that we are trying to get things back on track. We want to bring projects that are on the back burner, on the front burner. And then we've also got the grand vision and dream ahead, which is, let's put together $1 trillion and build all these roads and ports and power plants and so on and so forth. Where are we going to start?
First of all, we have to recognize that infrastructure is a very stable long-term business. So it doesn't move in fits and starts, and if you fix one thing, that doesn't mean everything is fixed. It's a very vast area of work, and you need to do a lot of things. Take the example of power. We passed the Electricity Act, the Parliament enacted it in 2003. The Act is all about introducing competition, introducing choice for consumers. In the entire developed world, all bulk consumers and now even smaller consumers have a choice. There is a marketplace, people can sell, people can buy. In India, we still have the stranglehold of the state-owned distribution companies. So no consumer has a choice. Open access and competition, which was at the heart of the 2003 Electricity Act, has not been implemented, right, because of barriers created by state-owned companies and state governments. Now, we tried to get private investment in power sector, and a lot of it has come. So there are two problems. First, that investment is not producing power that will be sold in the marketplace to consumers. It will all be sold to distribution companies. So, and distribution companies are not very viable. So that's one set of issues. So all the power which is produced will have, there will be distortions in the marketplace because it is being only sold in the monopoly, in the chain of monopolies. Second problem is that when the contracts were awarded, a large number of them were awarded 2, 3, 4 years ago. I think there were some fundamental mistakes made both by the government and by the private power producers, such as fuel price risk was assigned to the was taken over by the private sector. They had a choice and they bid in a manner that the fuel price risk was taken over by them. The fuel availability risk was taken over by them, despite the fact that coal is a nationalized industry. So these were some basic mistakes. Well, the government may have made those mistakes, and I hold no brief for those who made that mistake. I don't think it should have been done that way. But more surprising is the fact that the private sector actually bid and took all those risks. I mean, I simply can't understand how they've done it. So they made a very, very big mistake. Now, all that has lent instability to a good number of power projects. So producers and investors are complaining, lenders are complaining. It's a problem of our own making. So I hope it will get resolved as we go along in the next couple of months. But that underlines the need for revamping our contractual framework, the bidding documents, etc.
But that's simple, isn't it, relatively?
Well, it is not that simple because there are very strong conflicting interests, pulls, pressures, lobbies. States have one viewpoint, producers have another viewpoint. Producers would want to maximize their gains and their profits and their freedom. The consumers would seek the lowest prices and more stability, more guaranteed flow of electric supply. To some extent, these are conflicting requirements, and you have to bring them to an a level where everybody can live with it comfortably. So that takes a while, and that process is going on. Power Ministry is in the business of currently redrafting its older documents, and we hope that things would be in place in the next couple of months. There are problems associated with fuel supply, so we are looking at enhancing import levels and also increasing domestic production. That might take imports might take a few months to get accelerated. The production itself might take a little longer, because it takes a while to open up more mines and increase production. But all those steps are being taken in a very
concerted,
with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And I hope it'll soon show some improvement.
So is there I mean, I don't want to sort of fix to make you fix a timeline as such, but when is it looking like, let's say in 2013, some of these issues would be behind us?
In 2013, most of these issues I hope will be behind us, because there is intensive dialogue going on. Unless very strong lobbies or pressure groups pull in their direction and hold up progress and create a stalemate, which can never be ruled out in a democratic framework, though it hurts everybody. So I hope that everybody will see reason and build consensus around the table, and we will move forward. I have every reason to believe that in 2013, most of these issues should be behind us.
Right, that's a warm note to end on. Thank you very much, Mr. Haldea.